Hey, what's up, boxers? This is Zack with Buildbox. This is bonus 2 in the How to Build Your Own Video Game video series. So let's go ahead and jump back into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to build out a few more scenes and make this game a little bit more interesting, and then I'm going to speed all of that development up, and I'll stop it and I'll go ahead and I'll show you the things that I think are cool. So let's go ahead and speed things up. Okay, so I did a little bit of cleaning up here. It looks a lot better in my opinion. So it takes a little bit of fine tuning, but I actually widened out this base right here. I widened out the ground, and I also put up this column up here at the top because I think it looks a lot cleaner to have a border at the top. And so I'm going to go ahead and hit S, and you can go ahead and see this previewed. You see how it kind of this line here borders really nicely, and I recentered the score so that it fits in there just perfectly. And it also kind of gives it a little bit of depth. When you just have the plain background go all the way up to the top of the screen, it kind of makes it look a little empty. So by adding in that extra little block at the top, it kind of gives it a 3D look, and I think it looks a little bit cleaner. I also backed up a little bit so you can see more. The character is a little bit smaller this way, and you can take on more obstacles because now the player can see more coming at them. I might even shift this a little bit to the left so that you can see as much over here on the right side as possible, so that you can give your players a fair chance to do complicated scenes and complicated levels. So I also made a few switches to these first couple scenes, 1, 2, and 3. First, I took the coins and I gave them a little bit of an arc, and I repositioned these blocks so that they fit the jump a little bit better. So now it's a little bit more smoother for the player to jump off this block, get all 3 coins, and do the arc. It sort of mimics the arc of the jump, and collect all the 3 coins, and it just looks smoother. I also took these spikes and I made them a little bit longer. I sort of elongated them a little bit. I thought that they were a little bit too tiny and didn't look menacingly enough. And so if you do want to switch up the look of your spikes, it's really simple. You just, select all of your spikes, and you can stretch them up higher or make them bigger and wider. If I just want to do bigger spikes or something like that, I could probably do something like this and just, switch it up and do 4 spikes and then delete the 2 on the edges. But I'm going to just get Control Z and go back. But yeah, you can switch it up super easily with Buildbox. It's really sweet. And then I also made it so that when the character hits these blocks over here and gets trapped on the edge, it's also going to be defeated on each of the blocks. So that's what I did there for the first scene. And I also repositioned the jump here a little bit, made it a little bit shorter so it's a little bit easier. And this is sort of the double jump, the double arc right here. And then the game still felt a little bit slow, and even now when you play it, you can see it does feel a tiny bit slow because some players who are just really good, they're gonna just smash this. It's a little bit slow pace, so you can actually speed up this game by going to your 3D world, going to your mind map, and speeding up the time warp. And what that'll do is that'll make it a little bit harder. So if I, speed this up, it's at 1.4 right now. If I speed it up to 2, you can see that the character is going to be flying way faster, and it's like a totally different feel. This is probably more the speed that I want to go for because it has a little bit more of like an action feel. This is going to keep your attention right away. The other one's a little bit slow paced. So there's some little tweaking that you want to do, and time warp is a great setting to work with on that one. So I might even just leave the time warp at 2 from now on. Okay, and then go back into the 3D world. So I fixed up these jumps here, and then I also fixed up this ramp, and I probably need to fix up the coins jump because it's very rare. You can actually do it. You can do the double jump and you collect all of these coins, but it probably would be a little bit smoother to make the double arc like I did in the first 2 scenes, and it also kind of helps the player read what sort of movement they need to do in this scene. So if I have these 2 little arcs in between these pillars, the player's going to know I probably need to do a double jump here. So that's another way to just design your levels so that it's a little bit more intuitive. So I'm going to go ahead and probably switch that up right now, and then I'm also going to work on a level that, or a scene that I wanted to kind of make it look like there's cacti, and so I wanted to have these pillars with spikes coming out the sides. So I'm going to work on that right now, and I'm going to go over to the asset library. I'm going to find myself another cube, and I'm going to try to make this thing look like a cactus. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up now. Okay, so this is what I ended up with. This is sort of my cactus scene, or at least the first one. And it doesn't really quite look exactly like a cactus like I wanted it to, but it sort of kind of has that feel I was going for. What I wanted to do with this one is I wanted to make a ramp, and I think what would be cool is if some of you were to make a scene like this where you ramp up till you get to like the tops of the cactus, and then you see how you have like this middle one here. I think it would be better to have like a couple of those. Make this scene a little bit longer, so when I give you this game file, you can go ahead and just copy the scene over. Just hit the little scene over here in the bottom left, and then hit D on your keyboard, and then I'll just rename it scene 5, and then you can go ahead and now you have 2 of the same scene, and you can work with this scene and remake this and probably make a couple more middle ones, and then just redo this, redo the spikes. And you can copy all of the spikes over. It's really, really simple. You just select them all here, and then you just copy it. One second. And just copy it, and then you can go ahead and lift it over and move it around and do a couple of these and make them a little bit lower and higher and thinner and whatever you want to do. I think it'd be really cool to make a scene like that. And let's go ahead and let's play the scene and test it out, because I worked on making the coins fit with all of the jumps, and so let's see what this scene plays like. Okay. Woo, it's hard. Okay, it's a little bit harder. You gotta, when you speed it up with the time warp to 2, you really gotta get your timing down. Woo. Okay, cool. Well, I did it, so it is it's doable, but it's definitely not easy, especially when you're coming down on that jump. That one's really hard. But I'm happy with the scene, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end the video here, and I'm gonna build out one. I'm gonna do one more video of building out some scenes. The last one I think is really cool, and I recommend you all watch. I think it's gonna be pretty fun. So, and I'll give you this game file at the very end in this next video in bonus 3. So keep an eye out for that video, and as always, keep on boxing.